Nuggets. At guard, 6'2", from USC. Number 14, Robert Pack. At guard, 6'5", from Stanford. Number 21, 24, Todd Lichty. At guard, 6'5", from Virginia, number 23, Brian Smith. At forward, 6'8", from Southwest Louisiana, number 43, Kevin Brooks. At forward, 6'11", from St. John's, number 28, Robert Verdun. At center, 6'11", from Arkansas, number 10, Scott Hastings. And now the Nuggets starting lineup tonight. At guard, 6'1", from LSU, number 3, Chris Jackson. At guard, 6'7", from Georgetown, number 34, Reggie Williams. At forward, 6'8", from Illinois, number 30, Marcus Liberty. At forward, 6'8", from Notre Dame, number 20, LaFonso Ellis. And at center, 7'2", from Georgetown, number 55, Dikembe Mutombo, Philando Makamba, Jean-Jacques Wabatombo. The Nuggets trainers, Jim Gillen. Assistant coaches, Mike Evans and Gene Littles. And the head coach of your 1992-93 NBA Denver Nuggets, the great, the horse, of course, Dan Issel.
Well, Walt, when's the last time a Nugget head coach got a standing ovation? I think it's a very emotional crowd, not just because of the horse, who has really gotten this city behind this young Nugget team, but everything that this night represents. A whole new start, so much hope. You saw all the youngsters out there. Dan Issel's number 44 will be joined at halftime by David Thompson. So you got a lot of the old Nugget fans here tonight looking in the past at what Issel did for this team and what David Thompson did, and now looking for the future. The Nuggets and the San Antonio Spurs coming up on Prime Sports Network in tow for tomorrow night's game in Portland. But on the other side of the ledger, a key man is out for the San Antonio Spurs. As you take a look at the matchups, and you see David Wood, the second-year man from Nevada Reno, starting at a forward along with Sean Elliott. Antoine Carr, who moved into the vacated starting spot of Terry Cummings. He hurt his knee last night in the fourth quarter, colliding with his own man, Dale Ellis, and he is out for tonight's game. And that certainly should put San Antonio behind the 8 ball. Vinny Del Negro, who last year was playing in Italy, goes to Dale Ellis, the veteran and the threat from downtown. He's guarded by Marcus Liberty, who gets the assignment as a starter. David Robinson showing Dikembe Mutombo that he has opened up his offensive game. The Spurs lost last night in Sacramento, 114-106. Sean Elliott, the high man, with 29 points in that game, and Del Negro at 24. Nuggets with the ball for the first time offensively. Inside it goes to Mutombo. He'll try to put Robinson to work, and Robinson got a block. That gives him 7 for the season. He had 6 last night. Ellis being bothered and stolen by Liberty. Robinson is back, and Liberty wisely curls it into the corner. Ellis' first shot as a pro, And it's ripped down by David Robinson. And now it's the Spurs on the run. Only 2 Spurs in the starting lineup from last year. There's one of them, Sean Elliott, and the other is Robinson. Alfonso Ellis fights his own man, Mutombo, for the rebound. Chris Jackson has to chase. And you see a little more of that quickness. 30 pounds ago, he might not have gotten that ball.
Yes, that ball probably would have gone out of bounds.
Liberty turnaround, and there's the first basket of the season for the Denver Nuggets, and it's scored by Marcus Liberty. All tied at 2. Vinny Del Negro at 6'4", the 2-year veteran out of North Carolina State, coming back from Italy. Inside it goes to Robinson. There's the double team, and it leaves open the sharpshooter, Dale Ellis. Bingo.
I think that's what the Spurs, that's their game plan, to throw the ball into David Robinson and then let him find out once the Denver comes in double and find the open shooter, and that's Dale Ellis tonight.
Chris Jackson against the bigger Del Negro. Mutombo into the hands of Williams. The flick of the wrist and hits. Reggie Williams, who averaged 18 a game last year to lead the Nuggets, gets his first hoop of the season. And this is tied at 4.
Our game plan tonight against San Antonio, we're going to try to pressure their guards because they lost Rod Strickland. Vinny Del Negro doesn't have that much quickness, so I think that we can pressure them. They won't be able to get that ball into Robinson so easily.
And you know, that's what the Tark wants to do at the other end of the floor. Nuggets starting with Jackson and Williams at the guards. Liberty now up front with Ellis and Mutombo in the absence of Macon. Jackson. Chris Jackson, who finished the preseason scoring 21 and then 22 in Chicago. 6-4, the Nuggets take the lead for the first time. 9:20 left, nice move by Elliott. Dishes it off to Robinson. And Liberty gets it out to Williams, 2-on-1, 3-on-1. Jackson back to Williams, the reverse. And the Nuggets running out to an 8-4 lead. Pretty fast break, engineered by Chris Jackson and Reggie Williams.
That was a great play because they kept the ball moving in the middle, and the defensive man couldn't get set. He didn't know who was going to take that shot.
Nuggets very athletic, fivesome, and you see 3 men go to Sean Elliott, but it's not enough. Beautiful basket by Elliott, and the foul is also called. The foul on Marcus Liberty, but the Nuggets hope to show you a little more of this, Walt Davis.
Oh yes, definitely. Good passing, heads up play. They kept the ball right there in the middle. You know, like a hot potato. Got an easy basket. That's the way basketball is supposed to be played. Very unselfish.
Anderson with instructions to Marcus Liberty and Sean Elliott, who had 29 last night against Sacramento, 24 of those in the second half. The quick move by Jackson. And you can see the last 2 plays down. Chris Jackson in the middle of the fast break, dishing it off at the right moment. And there the move to just fake Del Negro out to get the open shot. Elliott tries for some more. Coming over was Mutombo, but the foul is in Marcus Liberty. So Liberty gets a chance to start, and Walty gets into early foul trouble. That's 2 on Marcus in 3.5 minutes.
Well, the thing with Sean Elliott, his forte is taking the ball to the hole, passing off if he...
29 points a game in preseason for Sean Elliott, or actually that's what he had last night against Sacramento. He was their leading scorer this year in preseason at 19 a game. And the first man off the bench is the first-round draft pick out of Virginia, Brian Stith, a guy who has the reputation of making everybody else on the floor look better.
Well, I saw Brian play for 4 years in the ACC at Virginia, and I think he's a great player. He's going to improve a lot.
Also off the bench for the Spurs, our first look at Lloyd Daniels. Nice pick by Stith, and it opens it up for Chris Jackson. Third field goal for Jackson. And he has 6 points, and he says he is on a mission this year. Right now, his mission is to stop 6'7" Lloyd Daniels. Sean Elliott, he feels the hot hand, but he has Reggie Williams, his former teammate, in his face. Posting up Daniels over Jackson, and he's got it. The former New York City playground legend. Played only 1 year of high school, did play a game in college, and now is reunited with the man who tried to recruit him at UNLV, Jerry Tarkanian. Pushing off inside is David Robinson. you know, the amazing thing about this game so far, you don't even know Robinson and Mutombo are here.
Yes, that's true. It's an up-tempo game, but these guys are going to get themselves involved in the game.
Nuggets have the advantage. San Antonio played last night. Nuggets will feel that tomorrow when they have to go to Portland. But a good start for Denver so far. They have the 1-point lead. Jackson has 6 of the 12 Nuggets points. Ellis from the outside. And Ellis all along has indicated that he could hit that outside shot. Some of the scouts said that that was his Achilles heel. And when he hits one like that to open it up, it's going to open it up for him inside.
Well, I thought always LaFonzo's had great rotation on his shot, and he takes good shots too, and that's important for a good shooter.
Run down by Jackson. Fast break for the Nuggets. Williams slides in. Oh! And he has crashed to the floor and will go to the foul line. Nuggets trying to move at every moment, and the catalyst is Chris Jackson, and he has Tarkanian pacing in front of his bench. A no-look pass by Jackson, and you could just see off the start how Jackson and Reggie Williams will be hooking up this year.
Well, I think those two guys really love this passing game. You can definitely tell Chris loves it. And Reggie started out at 2, but he's playing some 3-2, and I think that enables him to get out there and run and use his speed and quickness.
Reggie had a little difficulty finding the basket from the foul line in preseason. Very un-Reggie-like numbers. 11 of 19, 58% from the foul line, and he makes 1 of 2. Here's David Woods, scrappy player out of Nevada, Reno, played a year for Houston. Number 10, last year played in Spain. And now we have a whistle. The veteran referee, Paul Mahalik, making the call against Chris Jackson on the hold. Mahalik, along with Bernie Fryer, George Tolliver, are the referees here tonight. 15-11, the Nuggets lead it by 4. Lloyd Daniels with his back to Jackson. There is Ellis. Swish. Dale Ellis had 12 points last night in his opener in a San Antonio uniform. Ellis is brought in for that outside shot wall to try to take that pressure off inside against David Robinson. The timeout is 2. Whips it into the corner. Nice fake by Williams. And George Tolliver, the referee, makes the call outside. Such a nice fake that Sean Elliott came down on top of the Nugget. And it's foul number 1. Real nice matchup between Elliott and Reggie Williams.
Yes, I think it's a very good matchup. But the reason that set that up is because Reggie's such a great outside shooter. Sean has to respect that, and he uses quickness going right by him.
Mutombo looking for Smith. Makes the fake, but he's up against David Robinson. And now Daniels, who has a great vision of the court and puts it right into the hands of Wood. Daniels the rebound, and Lloyd Daniels has 4 points, following it up, and brings the Spurs to within 1. 6 minutes gone, 6 to go in the first period of the season. A season of hope for this young Nugget club. LaFonso Ellis, hard drive over Robinson, and it sets up Mutombo to smash it home. Robinson picking up Ellis, and Mutombo is free, and that's what Ellis wants to provide for Dikembe Mutombo inside.
Right. Well, David Robinson, he's going to go after everything to try to block it. And if the offensive rebound comes off, Mutombo has to be there to stick that thing back in, just like that time.
Nuggets lead it by 2. Here is Daniels wheeling around Thompson. Rejected by Ellis, who set the all-time block record at Notre Dame. Ellis comes in with his forte, block shots and rebounds, but he also hopes to put about 15 to 20 points on the board each and every night. Nice pass by Daniels on the inbound. Rejected by Mutombo. Williams tried to save it, and he'll get a new 24-second reset. Oh, Wood didn't know. He thought there was just seconds remaining on the 24-second clock, but they reset it, and he almost hit it. Jackson from behind. Daniels blocked it, and they're going to call a jump ball. One of the intriguing individuals in the NBA this year, Lloyd Daniels, rejoining a roster of Tarkanian, and there goes Mutombo, and that is upstairs for that block shot.
Yes, he had time to see that shot coming.
And on the tip, it's controlled by the San Antonio Spurs. They have a big lineup out there. This is a big club now. Rod Strickland going to Portland. We'll see him tomorrow night. And the guards, Del Negro at 6'4", is the smallest guard, the 3-guard rotation. And the Nuggets now finding Daniels continually taking it inside on Jackson, and Jackson in trouble now with the second foul.
I think they're going to go to that matchup. They've had a little success at it. They got a couple fouls on Chris. Daniels has scored 2 baskets inside, and that's one of the things that they like to do. This guy is 6'9", playing point guard.
And now Robert Pack gets his first stint. And out goes Chris Jackson, and that has to be music to Jackson's ears. He hears it from the crowd. Schoolyard legend, played 1 year in high school, no minutes in college. They get it back after the miss. And we'll set up that Daniels story before this night is over. Here is Stith, baseline. Oh, did he soar for the dunk? And he was fouled. Blasting off was Nugget rookie Brian Stith.
Here, Brian is taking the ball. This is exactly what he has to do. He has to take it to the hole. There's 4 San Antonio Spurs there, plus a great shot blocker is David Robinson. So you got to take the ball to the hole. He learned his lesson that first time out.
And Robinson actually got a piece of the ball, but Stith this time will go to the foul line. Stith, an excellent foul shooter, 82% at Virginia, where he averaged 21 points a game. Virginia's all-time leading scorer, and he cans the 2, takes his time, and he is now officially in the NBA book.
But he's still a rookie until his first game next year.
Over the back, and the foul is on David Robinson. Second foul on Robinson. He has as many personal fouls as points. The big matchup in the middle so far, Robinson with 2 points, Mutombo with 2. And the action inside. Well, Robinson got the worst of it all around. He got the elbow in the face, and he got the personal foul. So now Mutombo moves to the foul line, embarking on his second season as a pro. And here in the Midwest Division, Walt, this is a matchup that will go down in history. Just the early shades right now, Mutombo against Robinson. The veteran Larry Smith, who was picked up as an unrestricted free agent from Houston, replaces Robinson. Shortage up front for the Spurs, with Terry Cummings out for the season. Willie Anderson is also out because of the leg injury. Antoine Carr, who was their 6th man and moved into the starting lineup, sprained his knee last night, so he is not playing. The double team on Elliott, and Robert Pack makes it happen. It's off of Elliott, out of bounds. 4 minutes 39 to go in the first quarter. Dan Issel seeing his young team off to a good start, leading 19-6 in the home opener against San Antonio. Spurs last year 47 wins, but with David Robinson out with a broken thumb the end of the season, they were swept in the playoffs by Phoenix in 3. From behind, Larry Smith, all 6'8" and 250 pounds, putting the muscle to the back of Dikembe Mutombo. And after that last stint at the foul line, I don't know if Dikembe's hurrying back there. Actually has a chance now to get back to 50% at the line. So Mutombo feels the muscle of Larry Smith, but he's not going to feel as much muscle as he did last year. It's going to be very difficult now to double and triple team Dikembe Mutombo with the passing game in, and also with LaFonso Ellis there.
Well, with every team there's a scout, and they knew our plays. Every play, initially the first option was for Dikembe, and they double teamed him on every play. But the passing game, you don't know where, there's no set place to go. So I think the offensive guy has the advantage now.
Mutombo comes back after missing the first 2 foul shots, hits these 2, and Denver has their biggest lead. Nuggets have hit 8 of 12 shots from the floor. Blistering shooting for a team last year that shot 44% from the field. And a lot has had to do with the Nuggets getting some good fast break opportunities. Lloyd Daniels swatted away. The San Antonio Spurs want the goaltend, but they won't get it. Scott Hastings, the veteran, in his 11th season, now will come in to replace LaFonso Ellis. So Hastings now as the backup power forward. The rookie Robert Wardan is the backup center. Daniels moving in, lunging into Robert Pack, and Pack has the personal foul. Daniels will have 1 more foul shot. Lloyd Daniels never made it to UNLV to play for the Shark. Troubled pass. was arrested buying cocaine in a Vegas crack house the week he arrived in Las Vegas. And he has had severe problems and now looking to turn his life around, getting another chance from Tarkanian. Comes back to Robert Pack. 3:50 to go in the first period. Pack darts inside, finger roll. But he'll go to the foul line. And that play had the horse jumping higher than I've ever seen him. The horse may have even stuffed if he had the basketball in his hand with that jump. Dan getting into it. Being flanked by Gene Littles. And Mike Evans is his assistant coach. Jim Gillen, the trainer. Troy Wenzel, the assistant trainer. And now Robert Pack. Came over from Portland. Sure he's looking forward to tomorrow night's game when he returns there.
Oh, we both are, Al.
Walter Davis will be joining me tomorrow night. Pack unable to connect. He's an 80% foul shooter. And lets those two go by the board. Nuggets by 3. 3:39 left. The pushing and the shoving. Rejected by Mutombo. Here's Pack, but he can't hold on. Del Negro ahead to Daniels, an expert passer, and he puts it right in the hands of Elliott. Wiggling inside, can't get it. Wheeling out now is Williams, and Nuggets on the run. Look at Mutombo flying. And Mutombo is fouled. Leading the break, 7'2", Dikembe Mutombo. And down hard goes Vinny Del Negro. The 22nd timeout is called by the San Antonio Spurs. They may need a 60. Let's see where Del Negro got it. Williams looking for Mutombo. Oh, and it was the elbow right in the face. Could be the nose area. And now Jim McGillum, the Nuggets trainer, helping out. The rubber gloves go on the train of San Antonio, and that is a new edict in the NBA. Whenever there is blood spilled,
the game stops the bleeding.
Dan Issel not pleased with some of the practices this week of his young Nugget club, but it has to be frustrating. You have the whole preseason, and you're really anticipating that opening game. What happens in that week before?
Well, in the week before, you play a lot of games, so there's not a lot of time to practice. And I think Dan was very frustrated because they didn't have that practice time. But when he did get it, the team wasn't playing as hard as he thought. So they're playing tough tonight. You have to move it up to a different level.
And a timeout has been taken at McNichols Arena. We'll be back. Have wound up with a broken nose. The foul was on Del Negro.
Also, it looked like he got pushed in the back a little bit, got him off balance. I don't know if it's a broken nose or a cut below the eye.
Mutombo from the foul line has missed 4 of 6 tonight, but the Nuggets hang on to the 3-point lead. 3 minutes just about left in this first quarter on a night in which David Thompson's number will be retired at halftime, and we will carry the entire ceremony here at halftime on Prime Sports. Over Hastings, 2 veterans battle it out. Larry Smith gets it. Look at this lineup for San Antonio. Looks like a masters of the game with Green and Smith in there, Dale Ellis. The bullet. Robert Pack goes coast to coast, and it gives the Nuggets a 5-point lead. You get an example of the speed of Robert Pack. Sidney Green takes that shot and hits. Not the usual part of the Sidney Green repertoire, but he cans it. Nuggets by 3. Hastings and Mutombo on the floor at the same time, along with Pack, Williams, and Stiff. 10 seconds to shoot. Big size advantage for Mutombo. Beauty of a pass. Gift wrap for Reggie Williams. Williams now high with 7.
Well, that was an excellent pass by Dikembe. Last year, he couldn't make that pass, but he's worked on his game over the summer, and he's improved a great deal.
Well, he has 6 inches on Larry Smith, just dumped it over his head. Here is Pack into the hands of Williams. Slithers inside. Pack again. And he gets hung up in the air on that one. 25-20, the Nuggets by 5. A minute and 39 left. Ellis stripped by Hastings, and the foul. Quick hands by Scott Hastings. Now you see it, now you don't. He thought he had all ball.
Scott's had 2 great defensive plays. I think San Antonio had a 3-on-1, and Sean Elliott couldn't finish because Scott didn't block the shot, but he had great position.
LaFonso Ellis coming back in, and Scott Hastings, I believe, will go out. This is a 22nd timeout. Mutombo looking to take the Nuggets lead in assists in this game. And again, he has 6 inches on Larry Smith, a tough matchup for San Antonio, and Mutombo taking advantage, really seeing the floor and finding it very helpful when he doesn't have 2 or 3 guys on him.
Oh yes, he has good vision that time, and you notice Mutombo and Reggie Williams work very well together. Of course, they went to Georgetown, but they kind of play, and you need to do that with your teammates. You know a play that's going to work in situations, and you look for that.
Anderson looking out on the floor now with Dale Ellis, who will have the foul shots. The intense look of the horse, and he said he didn't think he'd be nervous. He'd be nervous before this game, usual a player type of jitters, but once the game was on, he was into it, and he certainly is. Dan Issel taking to the coaching business very well. Ellis a great foul shooter, but he misses a second, but recovers. A 3-point threat. Only Michael Adams has hit more 3-pointers in the history of the game than Dale Ellis. Near strip again by Robert Pack. 13 on the clock. The force. Sidney Green muscles in, and Ellis finally gets it. So Ellis staying with it, and it turns into a 3-point play for Dale Ellis. He has 7. Stiff got it. Ryan Stiff hits his first field goal. Bombing from the outside. The Nuggets with their 2 number 1 picks. Stiff and Ellis on the floor, joining Williams, Pack, and Hastings. A lot of maneuverability going on by Dan Issel. The foul is on Sean Elliott, and that is Elliott's second, so he is unable to get untracked here tonight. He had 29 last night against Sacramento.
Here's that man again, Scott Hastings. He helps out. He and Robert Pack have been aware of the other team's defense and offensive plays, so they're playing very well right now together, this unit.
Mr. Demolition Derby, Scott Hastings knows how to take that charge.
He's a very smart player.
Isolated Williams against Ellis. Popping out is LaFonso Ellis, the other Ellis on the floor. And it leaves the Spurs with the ball inside 40 seconds and a 4-point deficit. Daniels inside to Smith. There's Pack right on the case, and he creates the violation. Robert Pack, who really gambles defensively. You can do that, especially on this Nugget club when Mutombo is on the floor, and he kind of darts in low, a little reminiscent of Michael Adams on the defensive end.
Well, what Robert's doing, he's waiting till that guy turns his back, and he's just making a quick move to disrupt this offense. Kevin
Brooks has checked in for the final seconds for the Nuggets. 17 to go. They have 10 on the shot clock. Williams, very little room. Hastings gets it back. They have time. 3 seconds. Ellis smashes it home. LaFonso Ellis brings down the house with 5 seconds left, and the Nuggets' biggest lead grows to 6. Daniels runs out of time. The Nuggets will hear it from this sold-out crowd. This young club comes out for opening night and leads the San Antonio Spurs at the end of 1 quarter by the count of 29 to 23. Welcome back to McNichols Arena. 12 minutes down for Dan Issel. He's taking a little bit of a water break. His team leads by 6. And Dan Issel now sends Todd Lichty on the floor. So Dan using his players. He also wants to wear San Antonio down. He knew the Spurs played last night. They come in without Antron Carr. Vinny Del Negro goes to the hospital now, we understand, and with a broken nose. So Dan Issel getting those fresh pieces in there. He has played all but 1 player, only Robert Verdin, where Dan has yet to step on the floor. Ellis loses to Robinson, who's been held to just 2 points in the game. Here is Daniels, 6'7", a point guard, but keep in mind in preseason, Daniels had more turnovers than anybody in the NBA, 25 turnovers in 8 games. Ellis for 3. And that is a near automatic for Dale Ellis, who had 138 of them last year. And that brings the Spurs closer to Got a 6-point deficit to 3. Chris Jackson is back in, and he hit 3 for 3 in the first quarter. Once again, LaFonso Ellis showing you the touch from the outside. Nuggets by 5. First minute of the second period. Al Albert along with Walt Davis at courtside in McNichols Arena. Sold out house tonight. Double team on Robinson. David Wood whips it to Ellis. He drives by Lichty, and a nice move by Dale Ellis. Makes the fake, goes in. He's the only man in double figures tonight with 12. Lichty gets in trouble. And here come the Spurs. Daniels. He slides right through, showing you some of those legendary schoolyard moves.
Well, the Nuggets, the past 2 baskets San Antonio scored has been on turnovers. They were taking care of the ball very well that first quarter.
1-point lead, Nuggets. Hastings with Ellis. Jackson, Lichty, and Brooks. Lichty goes into Wood. He's got it! And credit and assist for Dan Issel for saving the falling Todd Lichty. David Wood trying to figure it out, but Walt, we've seen it so many times before.
Oh, yeah, since Todd Lichty was a rookie from Stanford, that's the one thing that he does the best, taking the ball to the hole. He shoots very well with either hand. So, and he had good hang time that time.
You know how certain players shoot better actually when somebody is on them than when they are free? Todd takes that to another level. Well, when he says on him, you really mean on him.
Right. I think Todd concentrates better when the defensive man is on him. He has to have that same concentration when he has a wide open shot.
And now we're taking a look at one of the rookies on the Spurs club with Vinny Del Negro gone. Matt Othick gets a shot. The rookie from Arizona. And much to the pleasure of Chris Jackson, he sees another 6-footer step on the floor. And you think Chris wants to get the ball and go against the rookie on the other end?
I think he's going to do that because he doesn't have to think about defense much anymore.
David Wood looks right in. 34-32 in favor of the Nuggets. 2 minutes gone in this second quarter. Kevin Brooks whips it out to Mutombo. Lichty, baseline to Brooks for the turnaround. That's what Kevin Brooks can provide for the Nuggets. Turns, fires, and hits.
They took care of the ball that time. That was excellent passes. They looked for the open man, and Kevin Brooks knocked down that jumper.
You want to send the thick Larry Smith in against the thin Kevin Brooks, and Brooks picks up the personal foul. They're both 6'8", but Brooks gives away 50 pounds to the 250-pound Larry Smith.
Well, I think the other Nugget players have got to do what Robert Pack and Scott Hastings were doing. They were aware of what the offensive team was doing. They played good defense, helping defense.
Away from the ball, you got to keep your eyes on Larry Smith at all times, and the officials did. Foul number 2 on Larry Smith. The 62-year-old Jerry Tarkanian, a coaching legend in college, and now at that tender age of 62, coaching in the NBA. 0 for 1 after last night's loss in Sacramento, 114-106. Right now trailing in Denver. 7 on the shot clock. Jackson right into the hands of Mutombo. A reset of the 24, and wisely brings it out. And look at the confidence exuded by Jackson. The quarterback in there shouting for Ellis to come off his screen. Still 12 seconds on the shot clock. No hurry. Brooks. And Ellis reels it in for the San Antonio Spurs.
That was a good shot. Kevin had a wide open shot. Made a good move. I like the shot attempt that he took that time.
The goaltending against LaFonso Ellis scored the basket for David Robinson, but LaFonso kind of issuing a message to Robinson that somebody will be there when he is near the hoop. Chris Jackson brings it across. The Nuggets clinging to the 2-point lead, but seem to be in control throughout in this first half. Larry Smith pops out. Jackson pass to Lichty, even better to Mutombo. Nuggets moving the ball around. Denver with 10 assists already in the ball game. Last year, they might go a whole game in getting 10. It had happened last season. But very cognizant of the teamwork. Robinson with the left hand. And the Nuggets will allow David to stand out there and try those shots. Jackson with that crossover dribble. LaFonso Ellis, Nuggets very patient in the passing game. You know, they want to move the ball around. Mutombo out to Brooks, pulls the trigger a little bit too hard. Ellis steps in front of Ellis. LaFonso wheels, and he is called for a charging foul. And that brings the horse galloping off the bench. Was it a foul? Was it a dive?
Well, I think that was just a rookie call. When next year, a second-year player, LaFonso Ellis, will get that call and finish that basket.
Anderson now showing great restraint.
Chris Jackson has to be careful here that he doesn't pick up a little silly foul.
Right, he has two. And Jackson showing right off the start here tonight what he's going to do to this ball club this year. And here is Jackson in the middle, being hounded by Robinson. Jackson with a stutter step, in trouble, finds Brooks, pulls the trigger. Kevin Brooks certainly can be some weapon this year, maybe filling the role of Walter Davis.
I hope so. I hope so. Chris Jackson looks like a point guard tonight, doesn't he?
Doesn't? Jackson racking up the points and the assists. Well, Jackson says, hey, look at Kevin Johnson and Mark Price and some of the others. They could score and dish off. David Robinson runs out of room. There'll be a foul called on Mutombo. That is only his first. Marcus Liberty checking back in, and Kevin Brooks comes out. Nice little stint for Brooks, and he hears it from the crowd. Tarkanian has yet to resort to the towel tonight. Also in now for the Spurs, William Bedford, number 00, and that's the man the Nuggets now have to key on. Dale Ellis with 14 points in the first half.
3 seconds.
Mutombo faces Robinson. Over Robinson. And the basket. And over the top of Bedford goes LaFonso Ellis, and he knows he made a mistake there. He gets his second personal foul. But that's a mistake of enthusiasm for the young rookie. Othick, the rookie out of Arizona. Built close to the floor. He grew up in Las Vegas. That's where we got to know Jerry Tarkanian. Remembered this young man well. And Ellis draws the foul from Todd Lichty. And so far for Tarkanian, the Ellis deal is the best deal going. He was picked up for the rookie Tracy Murray, who was sent to Milwaukee, the shooter out of UCLA. And for San Antonio, without Ellis, this one is a rout.
Dale Ellis is a great shooter, and he shoots really good coming off the picks too. And he knows how to set his man up. And San Antonio's got some big guys in there that are really going to set some good picks for him. And he fills it down.
15 points in the first half for Ellis. The high man for the Nuggets, Reggie Williams with 7. Here is Williams with the ball on the floor now with Jackson, Liberty, Ellis, and Mutombo. Nuggets starting 5 reunited. Ellis trying to go to work on Green. Jackson pulls the trigger. Got it. And now Chris Jackson is the highest Nugget in this game with 8 points.
He shoots pretty well coming off picks too.
Oh, not badly. 42-39. Nuggets by 3. Halfway through the second quarter. Elliott into Green. Over Ellis. And that goes off of Dale Ellis out of bounds. Should be Nugget ball, but they give it to San Antonio. 26th season of basketball in Denver. And this will, of course, play 10 of those here. Now embarks as the coach of the Nuggets. This is the 17th season in the NBA. And the Nuggets fittingly opening up this year against another former ABA foe. With a left hand, Matt Othick scores. He averaged 11 points a game last year at Arizona. It was a big three-point threat. He had 7 3-pointers in one game. The Nuggets lead is but 1. Jackson with the moves. Liberty, 6 on the shot clock. Turnaround, got it. Nice move by Marcus Liberty to connect. His second basket, and Denver by 3. Othick calling the plays. In it goes Robinson, one-on-one against Mutombo. Good defense by Dikembe, ripped down by Ellis. Ellis flips it out to Jackson. The Nuggets again in a hurry. Williams lets it fly for 3. Elliott goes down. Question of whether that is a traveling violation. Did his feet come off the floor?
Let him run.
I think if he had been a rookie, that may have been traveling.
Again, they try to go to work and in isolation over Mutombo. And again, Mutombo does the job and stops Robinson. Quickly, it's the Nuggets picking up the pace. Liberty fires. Swish! The Nuggets shooting the lights out. 19 to 33 from the field. Nearly 60% for the Nuggets from the outside. And their lead once again grows to 5. 4:15 to go in this first half. Elliott smashes it home. Sean Elliott getting serious about things right there.
That's what you call a finish. Golly.
3-point lead for the Nuggets. Elliott with 7 points, only 2 field goals. Quick move by Jackson and the foul. Othick trying to stay up with Chris. First foul on Othick. Now Lloyd Daniels is back in, replacing Ellis. And a sigh of relief by the Nuggets bench as Ellis goes out. And this is what just exploded at the other end. That is getting the step and going upstairs. Sean Elliott. And a nice follow-through on that, Walt, right?
Yes, very nice follow-through.
Williams. Run down by Mutombo. Ellis in close. Fourth field goal for LaFonso Ellis. The Fonz with 8 points. And the Nuggets again by 5. Ellis, the high score for the Nuggets in preseason at 14 per game. 5-point lead for Denver. 3.5 to go in the first half. David Thompson will be on it at halftime. Daniels tips it in. He stays right with it. And Daniels now with 9. His debut last night, he had 6 points against Sacramento. Ellis, no. Ellis. Mutombo brings it out. Look at the wrist. Chris Jackson on fire. 10 points, double figures for Jackson. And the Nuggets again by 5.
What happened there, they kept the ball alive, and they got 2-3 shots. And anytime an NBA team with the great shooters they have that many opportunities to take a crack at the basket, they're going to score.
San Antonio deciding to just make it a one-on-one game. Robinson and Mutombo. Turnover for the Nuggets. 2.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Nuggets with 7 turnovers in the first half, the 4 to the Spurs. Daniels trying to break down Reggie Williams, and it counts. Daniels does it with a left hand. And will go to the foul line. Lloyd Daniels, who Jerry Tarkanian says if he did not, and he is proving to still have some of those moves here tonight, but he misses from the foul line. 10 points for Lloyd Daniels. Nuggets by 3. 2:20 left in the first half, and a nice show here in the season opener by the young Nuggets against the San Antonio Spurs. David Robinson has essentially been invisible tonight. He and Mutombo each with 6. Ellis drives inside. Williams takes it away from Robinson, but can't hold on. Now Sean Elliott is really stepping up as a leader in this season. The alley-oop to David Robinson. And that brings the house down. Almost the rim.
Dikembe dove for that loose ball, and David Robinson saw that and just took off and was right under the basket by himself for a perfect alley-oop pass.
Spurs close the gap to 1. Inside 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Behind the back goes Marcus Liberty. Ellis inside to Mutombo. The double team over Robinson. That was a big shot to make.
Yes, that would have helped Dikembe's confidence a lot if he had got that one to stay down. But he's got to stay aggressive, though.
LaFonso Ellis rips it off for his 8th rebound in the first half. Williams goes, pops, he hits. Reggie Williams with 9. So you have Jackson with 10, Williams with 9, Ellis with 8, and Liberty and Mutombo with 6 apiece. Nuggets spreading that ball around. And they have 15 assists already in the first half. William Bedford. And he has been a traveling man this year. This is the 4th team he has been on already this season. Picked up with San Antonio, their problems with injuries.
You think that's a record, Al?
In one season? I have to say you'd have to consider it to be right up there.
Yeah.
Well, the quick move by Reggie Williams, who wants the baseline. Daniels won't give it to him, but Daniels ends up with his second personal foul. Reggie Williams, 2 of 3 from the foul line. The former San Antonio Spur. Last year, he averaged 20 a game against his former mates, and he's more than halfway there tonight. 11 points for Reggie Williams, and quietly assumes the scoring lead for the Nuggets tonight. 54-51, Denver on top. Al Albert along with the Greyhound, Walter Davis and McNichols. Sean Elliott feels the bump from Dikembe Mutombo, and that is only the second foul for Mutombo, and that too a change. Mutombo not feeling that kind of defensive pressure to play everybody and not getting into that quick foul trouble.
Yeah, that's true, but right now what Sean Elliott, he wants to take the ball to the hole. I would try to let him beat me outside and not let him take that ball to the hole, and then he's going to get a basket or a foul on Dikembe, and that can hurt later in the second half. So I think Marcus should take a slow step back and let him hit a couple.
Make him hit a couple. All right, Wood comes in, and he wants to make sure, as he has the mask and the goggles. Well, I wonder if he'll drive a few from the midcourt. John Daly.
Well, I think he kicked a couple long field goals the other day in the Broncos practice, so maybe he can hit some.
See the new George Plimpton? Zigging and zagging is Jackson. Coming up with the ball is Liberty. And George Tolliver nails the rookie Matt Othick with a foul, his second. 29 seconds to go. Dan Issel making the move. Doesn't want Dikembe Mutombo to get his third personal foul. And he brings Mutombo to the bench. 6 points, 9 rebounds for Dikembe. And a fine defensive job one-on-one against David Robinson in the first half. Robinson, who averaged 24 a game against the Nuggets last year, has 8 points with 29 seconds to go. Reminder, as Robert Pack comes in, David Thompson will be honored at halftime, and you'll be able to see that tribute as his number is retired coming up shortly. Liberty with 8 points in the starting role. Nuggets by 3. This one has stayed tight throughout. 16 seconds for the Spurs to shoot. Pack putting the pressure on outside. Ellis can't hold on. Nuggets with time. Fast break. It goes to Liberty. Beautiful move. He actually bobbled the ball but made it look even better. 10 points for Liberty. 7 seconds. A force by William Bedford hits from downtown for 3. Williams comes back. He was fouled from behind right in front of Paul Mahalik, but he didn't see it. 5 ticks left on the clock. Cal Ellis has a question about the timer, but meanwhile it's because of that the Spurs have the ball. Ellis gets away from the foul and is complaining about the time. David Wood will throw it in. They're looking for their three-point threat again. 2 former Piston teammates, Hastings and Bedford. That ends the first half with the Nuggets leading the Spurs. Nights that we will never forget. Test 1, 2. This is the first time I've ever used one of these things. David Thompson gave us so many nights that we'll never forget. And tonight, we're going to give David Thompson a night that he'll never forget. Tonight, we celebrate the player and the person who turned the electricity on right here at McNichols Arena. David Thompson was woven into the fiber of this growing city. Test 1, 2. Give me another few years. But David was woven into the fiber of this growing city in the 70s. It was David Thompson in Denver. Hot items, vibrant, exciting, alive, growing in leaps and bounds. It was an extraordinary time in which an athlete, a team, and a city all came together. David was an artist, a genius at work. The basketball court right here was his canvas. Each game was a collector's item. He burst on the scene in 1975, ABA Rookie of the Year, 26 points a game, most valuable player in the ABA All-Star game. So what do you do as an encore? Well, David led the Nuggets into the NBA over the next 2 years, 26.5 points a game. NBA first-team All-Pro both seasons. And along with Dan Issel and Bobby Jones, led those newcomer Nuggets to the Midwest Division Championship the first 2 years in the NBA. He went on to win an MVP and an NBA All-Star game. And then on one afternoon in Detroit, Denver's David Thompson summed up his greatness in 2 words: spectacular and unstoppable. He had 53 points at halftime, and I remember calling the game, and with each basket, watch David march his way past one legend after another, taking his rightful place. When he hit the 60 mark, he passed the all-time highs of Bob Pettit and Jack Twyman. 62 points, he passed George Mikan. 64 points, he left Jerry West and Julius Erving behind. 65 points, he left Rick Barry in the dust. 69 points, moved by the pistol, Pete Maravich, then breaking the 70-point plateau, passing Elgin Baylor's legendary 72-point game, and ending up with 73 points, sharing the top of the mountain with Wilt Chamberlain. And I might add, not even Michael has reached that stratosphere. Yes, for a 6-year span in a Nuggets uniform, David Thompson took his place among the sensational players in the history of the game.
You're simply the best.
Thompson touched us all on the basketball court, brought us all together each night here at McNichols Arena, and tonight he touches the hearts of so many more. Like the city of Denver, as I was talking about moments ago, hard times fell on David Thompson in the 80s, and today as the Community Youth Program Coordinator for the Charlotte Hornets, wherever his travels take him, David, from the heart, talks about the dangers of drugs. David Thompson has stepped up and taken the ball in his hands once again, and who knows, maybe this is what it was all about. Now, instead of saving games for the Nuggets, he may be saving lives of many disillusioned youngsters. We are so honored to have with us three young ladies who have provided David with their love and their support. I'd like to invite David's lovely wife, Kathy, and his beautiful daughters, Erica and Brooke, to join David on the floor. And speaking of family, I'd like to introduce this gentleman. You know, very few defenders could guard David Thompson. Matter of fact, here's the only person who could actually wrap David up, and that's the Nuggets' former trainer and now the president of the Nuggets Community Fund, Chopper Travellini. Houston. And David, a telegram just in, and I would like to read some of that. What's most important to remember about your career is not just the number of points you put on the board, but the way you scored them. You helped pioneer the high-flying, creative style that's so prevalent in today's game, a style which has forever changed the way the game is played. It is only fitting that McNichols Arena should forever display your jersey as a constant reminder of the contributions you have made to basketball. Congratulations. Sincerely, David Stern, Commissioner of the NBA. David, and ladies and gentlemen, if you would watch the big screens, there are some other individuals who could not make it with us here tonight, but they certainly wanted to be a part of this special evening.
It's a very, very special moment that, I can only share with him via videotape, and happy to just say, David Thompson, you earned it all. And, right now in your retirement away from basketball, you can look at your jersey hanging. I know it's going to bring a tear to your eye, to see them hanging in the rafters, because certainly when the Nets did mine and the Sixers did mine, I had a tear in my eye because, it's sort of like cutting the umbilical cord from something that was such a big part of your life and still will remain to be a part of your life, kept in the proper perspective. This is what you did. It's not what you're doing now, but you did it so well. You did it as well as anybody in the game ever did it, and the fans will never forget that.
David, I'd like to join in with a lot of other people in congratulating you for this great honor. I know it's pretty special to have your shirt retired. It shows an appreciation by a lot of people for just how great you really are. I personally know it. I got to coach you. I got to watch you every day. You're an amazing player, an amazing person. And along with everybody else, I'm really proud of you. I love to coach, and it was a tremendous thrill to have an opportunity to coach a player like you.
Hey, David, congratulations. It's a great honor, and you deserve it. And I know the people in Denver are excited about having your number retired. one of the all-time great players to ever come into the NBA. That was after the ABA experience, which was definitely one of the great moves by the ABA, gave him credibility, and as soon as he got in the NBA, along with Dr. J and David Thompson, the ABA was no longer looked at as a weak league with so many great players coming in. And again, David, congratulations. I think it's absolutely super. I know you're excited about it, and I know it's going to be a big, big night on opening night in Denver. Lots of luck.
David, there was another very special person who has meant so much to you, is loved by the fans here in Denver. Two of you were inseparable, sharing a national championship in North Carolina State, then both coming to the Nuggets together. Now, we wanted to get him on tape, but unfortunately, we were unable to do so. And we were unable to get him on tape because he wanted to be here to share this night with you. A little surprise for David. How could a David Thompson soar for an alley-oop without that perfectly thrown pass from Monty Tao? Tonight we all bask in the glory of the Nuggets past, and I would like to invite two gentlemen who are striving hard to ensure that the fans will bask in the glory of the Nuggets' future. Ladies and gentlemen, Nuggets President Tim Leiweke and Nuggets General Manager Bernie Bickerstaff.
David, on behalf of the Nugget fans, your fans, welcome home. We would like to present to you, and in particular your two daughters, a scholarship for $10,000 for their college education. Girls, take the Thompson name to new heights.
And ladies and gentlemen, the fitting conclusion. From this night forward, we will be able to look up in the rafters, and David will always be with us. There are only two other players in Nuggets' past 25-year history who have had their numbers retired. 44, the heart and soul of the Nuggets past, and now the present, the horse, of course, Dan Issel. And a player who came off the campus of DU who would play the first 10 years of the franchise history. His hustling, scrappy style of play captured the spirit of this franchise, taking the team from the early ABA to the early days of the NBA. The last of the sweeping hook shots, and he is here with us tonight, number 40, Byron Beck. Now involved with the club. Byron, who was the first Nugget to have his number retired, so he asked Byron if he will do the honors for his former teammate. One last time, David Thompson ascends in McNichols Arena. after night, he filled the rafters. Now he is there forevermore. I proudly present the immortal David Thompson.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to say you guys have made a young man from Shelby, North Carolina, very, very happy tonight. This has been one of the happiest days of my life. And it's always good to come home. And you know, I always love Denver. And could I call Denver my home? Thank you very much. Right now, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank a lot of people that made this all possible. First of all, I'd like to thank the Nugget organization for all their great gifts and for them deciding to retire my jersey. I think they're doing great things with the basketball team, and I think this team is going to be great in the years to come. I just hope you all support the team. Keep coming back the way you did tonight. Also, I'd like to thank my wife and kids for being with me through the years. Without their support, I don't think I'd make it. Give them a hand. Also, I knew that a lot of you people wanted this to happen, and I think without the effort of a guy by the name of Terry Smith, I don't think this would have happened. I want to give him a hand. And I also want to thank a guy who's been very dear to me, a guy who gave me a second chance when nobody else would, a guy that's a very good friend of mine and that will always be dear in my heart, a guy by the name of Carl Shear. Also, I'd like to thank all the great coaches that I played for here as a Denver Nugget. Also, all the great players that played here while I was here. And special thanks to Byron Beck and the Big Horse. I'm going to be up there with you guys for eternity, and that's a great feeling. But most of all, I want to thank you, the fans. You guys wanted this, and you've made a guy very happy today. I want you guys to give yourselves a round of applause, because without your effort, I don't think this would have happened. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for giving me the victory and helping me to get to this point. God bless each and every one of you, and thank you all for coming. Thank you very much.
5 of 6 from the floor. The Nuggets last year, of course, struggled with their shooting percentage, and off the bat here in the first game of the season have been blistering from the outside. They're also moving the ball around and getting higher percentage shots, with Denver struggling a little bit from 15 feet away at the foul line. The Nuggets doing a job on the boards, and Dikembe Mutombo with 9, and he gets his help from the rookie LaFonso Ellis, who has 8 rebounds in the first half. Tonight we have a trivia question brought to you by the Discover card. It pays to discover. And this is the question: who's the only Nugget to twice be voted to the All-Star Game MVP, and which year? Not the NBA, but an All-Star Game MVP. The answer in a moment.
Next time you're dining out, ponder this. The Discover card pays you a cashback bonus on every meal you charge, which means you shall soon acquire a small fortune. It pays to discover. Are annual credit card fees sending you through the roof? Carry the card that charges no annual fee and stay on firm financial ground. It pays to discover.
The outgoing Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt joins us this Thursday evening as This Week in NASCAR heads to Atlanta, Georgia for our final telecast of the year.
Live Thursday night at 11 on PSN.
From Rock Busted to Bareback or just hanging on for life, the world's toughest hombres are in Madison Square Garden for the world's toughest rodeo. Friday at 10 on PSN.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL. It's football that's
In your face.
When Bears growl for Sunday dinner, ESPN is in your face.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL.
Some people who start forest fires never even set foot in the forest.
National treasures, riches that belong to us all. But there is another national treasure that we must not forget, our water. Find out about conserving our water and improving its quality. We owe it to our children. Call 1-800-THE-SOIL.
Today's trivia question brought to you by the Discover card. It pays to discover who's the only Nugget who was twice voted an MVP in All-Star games. Well, you just saw the man, David Thompson, 1976 and 79. Actually, he is the only one voted an ABA and an NBA MVP. That's the trivia question brought to you by the Discover card. Remember, Walt, always remember it pays to discover. What did Dan Issel discover about his young team in the first half?
Well, I think Dan's pretty happy with the way the team played. He likes the way they hustle. The guys are hitting the boards, and they're getting some easy baskets. And that's what you have to do in an NBA game. You can't come down and set up every play. The defense gets set.
The Nuggets led by Reggie Williams with 11, Marcus Liberty with 10, Chris Jackson with 10. And Denver starts with the ball. Jackson wheels to Mutombo, but Mutombo wasn't looking for it. And Chris has a couple of words to the big guy. Nuggets start this second half with Jackson and Williams, along with Liberty, Mutombo, and Ellis. But it is Liberty picking up Sean Elliott, and he brings the ball across the floor. Dale Ellis and Lloyd Daniels in the backcourt for San Antonio. Robinson in the middle, David Wood, Sean Elliott up front, and another nice wheeling move by Lloyd Daniels, who has a dozen points in this ball game.
Well, they had success with that play in the first half, posting up Chris Jackson and Robert Pack. And if they have some success in the NBA, the teams are going to go back to it.
San Antonio Spurs have tied this ball game. They're playing without Antoine Carr, who has a knee injury. Now David Robinson goes down hard. And very quickly, a 20-second timeout is called by Jerry Tarkanian. He almost called that before Robinson hit the floor. When the franchise goes down, you call that timeout immediately.
Yes.
Take no chances. What else can hit the San Antonio Spurs? In the first half, they lost starting guard Vinny Del Negro, who got an errant elbow of Dikembe Mutombo in the nose, taken to the hospital, we heard, with a broken nose. Nuggets play tonight's game. Dan Issel without his starting guard, Mark Macon. Macon has had problems with the ankle. Earlier in the week, he sprained his left ankle, and Wednesday, he sprained his right ankle. The good news, Walt, he has no more ankles to sprain. And there is Mark Macon, who's shown that intensity defensively. Dan Issel, he's sitting there with Anthony Cook behind him, and to Mark's right is Gary Plummer, two other of the injured Nugget big men. But Dan Issel showing a shuffling of the roster on the floor, very reminiscent of Larry Brown when he was coaching here. Nice move by Reggie Williams to get away from Ellis. This is Mutombo, who places it home.
Well, Dikembe showed David Robinson he can also run the floor.
The Nuggets regain the lead by 2. And 6'7", Lloyd Daniels in low on Jackson. Here's Wood. He is a three-point threat. Mutombo sweeps it ahead of Robinson. Mutombo dribbles out. Williams stops. He bumps. And inside is Mutombo trying to get position on David Robinson. And Dikembe has called for his third personal foul. On the hustle board, Mutombo has out-rebounded David Robinson tonight, 10-2. And they've each scored 8 points. This is the first of 5 meetings between these two teams. The Nuggets lead the all-time competition, 86-87, going back to the ABA. Nice moves by Ellis. Nuggets by 2. Here comes San Antonio.
that time Dikembe should have started a little bit sooner. He saw David Robinson go for that block. And he had got a little position, one step a little bit faster. He could have had that dunk there, too.
Here's Jackson in a hurry. Into the hands of Marcus Liberty. Twists and turns for Elliott. 2 minutes gone by in this third period. The Nuggets on opening night against the San Antonio Spurs. Tomorrow night, it's up to Portland against the Blazers. And that will be Portland's opener of the new season. Lloyd Daniels wheeling away from Jackson. Jackson needs help inside when Daniels takes him in low. Lloyd Daniels living up to the advanced billing. 14 points. And now Dan Issel having a couple of words. And would he be saying just that? That they need help inside?
Well, I think they have a defensive scheme, and I think he's a little unhappy that the guys didn't execute at that time. They did it the previous 2 times. They got a turnover and a bad shot that David Wood didn't knock down. They scored on either one.
What is Dan looking for in that defensive scheme?
Well, he wants them to kick that ball out. They got to go right away because this guy is posting Chris up so close to the basket. He really doesn't need a dribble, and he's got a layup. He's 6'9" already. So once he posts Chris up inside, they got to go right away, get that ball out of his hands.
Nuggets continue to hold the edge on the board, but no longer do they hold the edge on the scoreboard. 60-60, that's the score. 9.5 left in this third period. Jackson wide open, the flick of the wrist. No, rare miss by Chris Jackson tonight. Steal by Liberty. Here the Nuggets 3-on-2. Williams darts inside over Elliott. Williams again. Reggie Williams with a nose for the hoop. He has 13 points, and Denver leads it by 2. The lead has changed hands 7 times in this game, although the Nuggets have been in front for most of it. Again, Daniels. This time there is some help. Ellis loses, and the foul. The foul is on David Wood. George Tolliver had Dan Issel jumping in front of him because Dan wasn't sure which way the foul would go. And Tolliver, a professional, kind of whispers to Dan, don't get up there too quick. And Dan with a little pat on the back. And the pat on the back by Dan should make the highlight reels around the country. Chris Jackson, a beauty, pulls it softly off the glass and in. 12-point lead for Chris Jackson. And it looks like the horse may have a nail-biter in the first one. 64-60, the Nuggets by 4. 8:20 left in the third quarter. Daniels kicks it out on Elliott. Got it. Only the third field goal for Elliott. But he scored 5 from the foul line. 11 points for Sean Elliott. 2-point lead for Denver. Jackson fires. And it's reeled in by Elliott. Now the Spurs with a chance to tie it. Steps by Robinson, and then the foul. Alfonso Ellis helping out, and he is called for his third personal foul. A lot of time for Alfonso on the floor. Not much room for Robinson. And the one thing Robinson's finding out tonight, Walt, is when he goes to the hoop, he's going to get that attention, not only from Mutombo, but by Ellis.
Well, last year with Paul Westhead's system that we had, it wasn't a lot of helping. You were pretty much on your own. And once you really can't trap an NBA team, they're just too quick, they're too unselfish. But I think tonight Dan is concentrating on getting the defense set and making David Robinson work for everything he gets.
The Nuggets this year, 82 games, and it is actually a process of the young team getting their playing time, learning one another, getting down the style, and looking forward to the future. Liberty, squish. Marcus Liberty with 12 points. Marcus, I think, a little heartbroken when it was announced earlier he would not be in the starting lineup, but with the injury to Macon, here he is starting tonight and taking advantage of it. 12 points for Macon, or rather for Liberty. Mutombo stays right with David Robinson. Robinson finding it a little harder to make his moves, but that could be the key to the rest of this game because it's foul number 4. Or check that, it is number 3 on Mutombo. Robinson back to the foul line. Last year, David Robinson in the top 10 in the statistical categories in 5 different categories in the league. Only Larry Bird, and you have to go way back to Cliff Hagan. Only other players to reach those heights.
Well, David Robinson surprised everybody his first year in the league. He runs very well, and he's very active. And I was just amazed how great an athlete he is.
Nuggets by 1. Sean Elliott on top of Reggie Williams. Liberty, turnaround. Liberty, passes it to Jackson for 2. And keeping it alive, LaFonso Ellis. 20 on the shot clock. Jackson gets caught up. Ellis gets it back, no rush, but he forces and hits. Losing track of the clock, but it works out for LaFonso Ellis. He's in double figures. He's 1 rebound away from a double-double in his first pro game. William Bedford could not hold on. I think Bedford has made his contribution for the night, that desperation three-pointer at the end of the second quarter. The timeout is taken, 6.5 to go.
Chris had that move a little bit earlier ago, and he tried to make that pass to Mutombo, and he didn't expect it, but he finished it that time.
Gail Ellis had Marcus Liberty's hand right on his when he hit that shot. 6 minutes to go in this third quarter. Al Albert with Walt Davis courtside at McNichols tomorrow night. We will be up in Portland. 8 o'clock start on Channel 2. The Nuggets against the Trailblazers, the first game of the season. Jackson now working on the rookie Matt Ombeck from Arizona. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Jackson and Williams, Liberty, Ellis and Mutombo. Run down by Sean Elliott. Robinson. And sliding in is David Robinson. 13 points now for Robinson.
I think the Nuggets got out of position that time. There was a shot that they didn't want at that time, and the defense wasn't set, and Robinson got the easy layup.
1 point lead for the Nuggets. Mutombo goes back in on Robinson. Up in the air was Williams, and Offit takes it away, and San Antonio takes the lead for the first time since early in the first quarter. Dale Ellis, the guy who's killing the Nuggets tonight, he has 19 points. Nuggets searching now. Passing game breaking down. Jackson got it. Chris Jackson, 16 of the Nuggets back by 1.
That was an excellent play. They took their time. They moved the ball around. They waited for a good shot. Usually a young team will force a shot, lead to another fast break, but they're playing very well tonight, Al.
Nuggets won only 1 of their 8 preseason games, but shown that they never quit. Some late game rallies, and here they are hooked up into a close one.
Great.
Ellis, and he taps it to Chris Jackson, wheeling out for the Nuggets. Jackson puts on the moves, showing that incredible quickness. Reggie Williams slices in, but it goes off of his swirl and out of bounds.
That was a good play that time. Reggie penetrated. He saw David Robinson coming over, and he passed the ball to Mutombo. He got deflected out of bounds there.
Coach wanted Mutombo to start outside, and now the Nuggets with 12 seconds on the shot clock, being a little confused on the floor, and they have called a timeout. 4:17 left in the third, and on openers, Nuggets working out the kinks. They're hot shooting in the first half, cooling off a little bit here in the third quarter. 7 of 19 from the floor, 37%. All alone is Ellis, and he takes the dribble to try to avoid Robinson. Mutombo outjumps the Admiral. 4 on the shot clock. Does Dikembe know it? Reggie Williams forces, it's there, but the 24-second violation. So the Nuggets, that is a no-no. You just took a timeout with 12 seconds to go. 5 guys on the floor should know the clock situation. So San Antonio has an opportunity now to move back in front. 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Chris Jackson puts the bucket, and here's Liberty. He's going, he's gone! The moment of Marcus Liberty waits for.
Oh, yes. Chris Jackson calls that. That was a great play, and that's what they want to do.
Deflection by Ellis here. The Nuggets running. Oh, tough pass by Williams. Put Mutombo in a difficult spot, but the Nuggets get it back. 15 on the shot clock. Time for the Nuggets to move the ball. Mutombo. Ellis steps inside and finds Mutombo, who buries it. The Nuggets with a spurt. A dunk by Liberty. A dunk by Mutombo. A timeout by San Antonio. 17,022 standing. The Nuggets had fallen behind for the first time since early in the first quarter at 70-71, but now they have reeled off 6 straight points and doing it in dramatic fashion.
Oh, yes, that was a great play. A lot of times you don't see a big man able to put the ball down. Well, Chris Jackson played very good defense and got a good pass to Marcus Liberty, who finishes. Great finisher.
And the Nuggets once again take the 5-point lead. That is their biggest lead in the ball game. Well, check that. They're once up by 6. San Antonio infrequently has been in front tonight. Their biggest lead at 10. And here is Mutombo's last 2. The Nuggets are really looking for one another. What a pretty play by LaFonso Ellis. Let's take a look here on the second night. There's the roll pass by Daniels coming over as Ellis, and Ellis is called for the foul. And here's Dan Issel working on his first tee. Jaw to jaw with Paul Mahalik. And now it is Issel who is, instead of Mahalik, trying to convince Bernie Fryer. Was it a clean block? No, says the official. And Ellis gets his 4th personal foul. And you're getting an idea tonight, Walt, that the great skill inside by LaFonso Ellis, how quickly he moves. And on this second shot, looks very clean indeed.
Well, I thought he had a good block, and probably after the ball was gone, he hit him with his body. But LaFonso Ellis is young. He's got those young legs. He's aggressive, and he goes after everything.
Dan Issel still working Paul Mahalik as Wood hits from the foul line. Mutombo stays in, and now Hastings has replaced Ellis, who goes out with the 4 personal fouls. Reggie Williams, Nuggets still cling to the 3-point lead. Liberty to Mutombo. Credit Liberty with another assist, and Mutombo with another basket. The Nuggets with 22 assists in the game on their 35 field goals. The Spurs have only 9 assists. And Paul Mahalik turns this the other way. Lloyd Daniels has foul number 3. And no argument from the horse on that one.
The Nuggets are playing with a lot of enthusiasm. They're helping each other out, and that's what you got to do.
2:25 left in the third. Nuggets, if they score here, will have their biggest lead. Jackson with the bigger Daniels. Liberty off the screen and off the mark. Reeled in by Robinson. Mutombo with 12 rebounds. That is the 4th for David Robinson tonight. Now Robinson bumping with Scott Hastings. Robinson being watched by both Hastings and Mutombo. 9 on the shot clock. Wood has some room and banks it in. 6'9" David Wood out of Nevada Reno. Last year played in Spain after a full season with the Houston Rockets. Very scrappy player. And with all the injuries to the Spurs, finds himself with a spot. The fake by Jackson, but Daniels got a piece of it. And now it's the Spurs on the run. Sean Elliott, who's been very quiet here in the second half. Ellis the 3. Swept away by Mutombo. 78-75 Nuggets, a minute and a half left in the third period. Williams being watched by Ellis. Nuggets swing it around. 10 seconds to shoot. Don't follow Liberty, double teamed, and Liberty is fouled. Again, the Nuggets continue to look, and for this young club, Walter, exhibiting tremendous patience here tonight.
Well, I thought at the outset of the game, that was one of the keys of the game. They got to play their game style. They got to do what Dan wants them to do. play hard on defense, and look for each other on offense. And the defense, when you pass the ball that well, it's tough for them to cover you.
And Dan Issel saw it happen successfully for 10 years in the Denver Nuggets uniform. Number 5, rookie out of Houston, Sam Mack checks in for the first time. Marcus Liberty makes 1 of 2 from the foul line. And Marcus is now right there behind Chris Jackson. 15 points for Liberty, 16 points for Jackson. There's Mutombo to help out. Hastings picks up Robinson as the Nuggets rotate on defense. Hastings tries to pull it away from Wood, and he's called for the foul. Scott Hastings' scrappiness certainly adding to the personality of this Nuggets club. Scott saying he tried for the ball, and for the referee, in case you didn't see it the first time, Scott very accommodating.
I think they call it an intentional foul.
They are calling a flagrant foul. Flagrant foul is an excessive foul or a foul that could cause injury. So Scott Hastings gets hit with it, his second foul. That means Wood will take the foul shots, and San Antonio will get possession of the ball. Dan Issel just saying he's trying to take a foul, but it was the fashion in which he tried to take it. It may have been the motion of David Wood that made it look flagrant.
Well, I think, Scott, if he had held him up right there at the end and not let David fall to the ground, then they probably wouldn't have called it a technical foul or a flagrant foul.
That's the Nuggets' 14th foul. Inside a minute to go in the third quarter. Daniels slices in, and there is Jackson. He races by Robinson. Jackson on the run, behind the back, slam home by Mutombo. 1-2 combination of Jackson and Mutombo, and Chris Jackson is all smiles tonight. And it is now bedlam here at McNichols Arena. They have cued in to the new Chris Jackson.
Yes, the fans love it. Dan Issel loves it.
Reggie Williams doesn't. He is called for that foul, and that quiets things down. Well, tonight we were treated to a halftime honoring David Thompson, and here in the game, perhaps we were on the threshold of seeing the newest Nugget sensation. A bust the first 2 years, wearing number 3, the 3rd pick in the draft, the highest ever in Nuggets history. And Chris Jackson is showing the Nuggets fans tonight what he's been all about in preseason. 30 pounds lighter, feet don't bother him anymore, new attitude, he's on a mission, showing great confidence. And this could really be exciting.
Well, I think a lot of people forget that Chris Jackson would be a rookie this year. He left out this sophomore year, so he has some maturing to do, and this is a new game for him.
Plus, you look at it in other ways. He has 2 years of NBA experience. Daniels with a crowd. It's the travel, and it gives the Nuggets the ball back. With just under 27 seconds to go. Lloyd Daniels, 14 points tonight, playing his second pro ball game. Did not play a minute in college, hardly played any of high school. He's gotten himself off the street, says he's drug-free, has been for the last 2 years, and really has a whole new world around him, and has really been taken in by the Spurs. David Robinson has put his arm around Lloyd Daniels and says, we're going to give you another chance, I'm taking care of you. And when David says he's taking care of him, you know the rest of the Spurs are doing the same.
Oh, you know it, that's true.
5 seconds to shoot, Jackson takes it all the way. It leaves the Spurs with 4 seconds, playing the clock. Here is Daniels. Robinson can't hold on. We'll take a breather. Actually, not a bad time. Give Chris a rest at the start of the fourth quarter. What a difference an off-season makes. Chris Jackson, who had sometimes difficulty getting off the bench, never showed the leadership qualities that made him a superstar in college. And here tonight, he has, Walter, he has taken over this ball club. He has been the spirit and gotten this club running.
Well, he looks like the Chris Jackson that we remember 2 years ago. He's lost weight. Like you said, he has a new attitude, and he's in shape. And to play this game, you got to be in shape.
All right, here we go. The Nuggets have put together a nice performance, but they have been unable to shake the San Antonio Spurs. As we start the fourth quarter, Robert Pack giving Chris Jackson a breather, fouls Lloyd Daniels, who took exception to the close defensive play. Remember, the schedule maker, I think, helping the Nuggets out tonight, sending in a San Antonio team that played last night, a team that does not have two of their starters, Terry Cummings and Willie Anderson, out for injuries. Antoine Carr, another starter, out with a knee injury. And Vinny Del Negro, their starting guard, breaking his nose in the first quarter.
Yes, they have a lot of question marks on their team, a lot of injuries. And but Denver, they're playing very well, even though San Antonio doesn't have the team that they would like to have out there.
6 seconds on the shot clock. Stiff coming along, and he fires, and he hits. Brian Stiff has 6 points. The Nuggets alignment here is Pack and Stiff in the backcourt, Mutombo, Hastings, and Brooks up front. The only Nugget has not played, Robert Worden, the rookie out of St. John's. This should be against Elliott. Oh, the officials disagree. Bernie Fryer said it was on Elliott. Paul Mihalik says no. Instead, it is a blocking foul on the Nuggets.
Well, I think he'd call that foul on Kevin Brooks, a push in the back here. We'll see if that happened.
Second foul on Brooks. And that is the foul. Mihalik saw it on the outside. He said that was the foul, the first foul, and that takes the precedence.
Paul Mihalik's a good veteran referee. He told me before the game he wants to go 6 more years to get his kids to be caught.
Daniels hits from downtown. I thought he told you before the game that he is a good veteran referee.
Yes, he did.
So Daniels hits a three-pointer and has 17 points, and the Spurs just one behind. Of course, they're shuffling in different combinations. He wants to give his players playing time. Long ball, of course, so you know how much he wants to start off with a victory here tonight in front of the sellout crowd. And he wants some answers right from the start. The foul is on Wood, who has that Bill Laimbeer look.
I think that's who broke his nose in preseason 2, Al.
In honor of Bill Laimbeer. Pack. Hastings calling for it. Pack, a good penetrator. And now it's Wood and Hastings, the two number 10s. Bernie Fryer holds up number 10. They both look around. The foul is on Wood, his fourth. Well, you know, when you get these two guys on the floor, especially guarding one another, it's just a game of bumper cars.
Oh, yes, yes. You know, those guys are out there, set picks, play good defense, and keep the spirit going.
Rush shot by Stiff with just 3 seconds off the 24-second clock. 2 minutes gone in the fourth quarter. The Nuggets by one. Daniels with the dribble. If you're open, he's going to get you the ball. Ellis has 19 points tonight, including one three-pointer. It goes into Robinson, the turnaround left-hander, and the Spurs have taken the lead. 15 points for Robinson and 5 straight now for San Antonio. It'll be Nuggets ball. 84-83 in favor of the Spurs. Robinson 15 points, 4 rebounds. Mutombo 14 points, 13 rebounds. And a timeout is now taken by Jerry Tarkanian. And the San Antonio Spurs. Pack penetrates, and Denver has the ball. Let's set the score and the time. 9:39 to go in the fourth quarter. Nuggets trailing 84-83. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Robert Pack, that is not his range. Stiff off the screen of Ellis. Robinson can't save, and neither can Daniels. The Nuggets, who is shooting in the 56% range at halftime, are now at 48 for the game. Sark brings that look to every ball game. He could be up 20 and look like that for Tark. San Antonio has the same shooting percentage now as the Nuggets. Overplaying is Dale Ellis. 84-83 Spurs by one. Their biggest lead in this ball game has been 2. And they have not had the lead frequently. Chris Jackson, Reggie Williams getting ready to check in for the Nuggets. Robinson and Mutombo. Slices with his Wood. And underneath helping out was Robert Pack. Pack has his 3rd foul.
I think what San Antonio is doing, they're just taking turns posting different people up and trying to play off of what the defense that Denver's going to do. And that time, David Robinson made a good pass to the cutting David Wood.
Well protected the facial area, David Wood. Actually, he only wears that when he plays against Scott Hastings. It's that extra protection. Meanwhile, nice little game here tonight for Wood, looking for his 12th point.
Well, he went in that time to try to get the ball away from Mutombo, and I think he had the right idea with a mask on because Dikembe has as sharp as elbows, I think, in the league.
A dozen now for Wood, and the Spurs have their biggest lead, 3. Nuggets, who have played come from behind ball in most of the preseason, so they are used to this. And here's a steal. San Antonio Spurs trying to pick it up here. Sean Elliott, who's been very quiet, just 11 points. One-on-one Robinson. Muscles in on Mutombo. Nice shot. Mutombo didn't give him much ground, and he had to resort to the fall-away, and he hits it. That's 10 straight points now for the Spurs. They were trailing 83 to 78. And now here is a test for Denver. That's a backcourt violation. And the Nuggets now with some turnovers starting to mount. Dan Issel calls the timeout with a young club without a Walter Davis who is out there pulling the trigger. And when they need a go-to man, it could be the foul line. Well, the Spurs have hit 21 of 26, the Nuggets 11 of 19. And Daniels leading the way now for the San Antonio Spurs with 20 points.
I think what Denver has to do is, the way they got that lead is to keep being aggressive and being unselfish and playing good defense. They got to pick that back up again.
And Tark now going to his veterans in there, Ellis, Robinson, Elliott, and Wood, along with Daniels, who's the hot man in this ball game. That's the 3. And Wood taps it away for San Antonio. 7:45 left in the ball game. It's the deflection by Mutombo. Here are the Nuggets. They've been at their best when they've been running. Williams for 3, but wait, a whistle. Bernie Fryer finds a foul in the hustle down 4. David Robinson with a bump, and David Robinson gets his 3rd. So Robinson and Mutombo each with 3 personal fouls. And actually not a bad foul for Robinson. Slows down the Nuggets on the run. Jackson has 16 points, but on the other end, Lloyd Daniels has 20. Williams lets it fly. Reggie Williams looking to take over. And now it's the Spurs back the other way. Taking their time. And it goes again to Daniels. Hurrying over there is Ellis. And I believe a illegal defense will be called on LaFonso Ellis, who got trapped away from his man. You saw David Wood come all the way out.
What LaFonso has to do, once he double teams, he's got to get back and find his man. He can't stay in there in the lane.
Williams. Oh, but it goes back to David Robinson, and it leaves Ellis with a wide open shot. Been a while since the Nuggets have scored. Liberty fires. And the Nuggets have been trying to fire from the outside. It's been 4 minutes since they scored a basket, and now the San Antonio Spurs are opening up a margin and taking control of this game. Dan Issel calling for the rookie, Brian Stith. Off balance, it's Daniels, but he knows where his teammates are. Robinson now with 19 points and looks for 20. Dan Issel replacing Marcus Liberty with Stith. Oh, snatching down the rebound impressively is Ellis for the Nuggets. Jackson off balance. Ellis again at this end of the floor. Stiff banks it in. So the tough rookie comes in and scores.
And what he did, Al, he took the ball to the hole. The Nuggets, the outside shot is not going right now, so you got to change up and take the ball to the hole. It creates so many things for the offense.
Nuggets first hoop in 5 minutes. Daniels finds Robinson with the Mutombo coming over. 21 for David Robinson. Robinson leaving the best for last. San Antonio now by 7. 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
I think the game is going to come down to these last 5 minutes, 6 minutes, is the team that executes and stays tough defensively.
Three Nuggets battling, and there is Stiff. Cross-court Ellis takes the three. Jackson has Ellis on him. Dale Ellis, 15 on the shot clock. Mutombo, watch out, double teamed and fouled by Wood. David Wood sneaking in, and he knows that he just committed his 5th personal foul. Well, check that. That is number 6 on David Wood. And the San Antonio Spurs, who are getting lighter and lighter up front, will lose another. And they will talk it over as a timeout is called. And McNichols another foul on Lloyd Daniels. So Daniels, who has been an important ingredient for the Spurs tonight with 20 points, gets his 4th personal foul. Larry Smith has replaced the fouled out David Wood. Jerry Tarkanian piecing things together with this injury-riddled San Antonio Spurs club.
Well, that's what you have to do. This game is, you don't know what's going to happen. And that's why basketball is so exciting. And with the injuries now, they played a tough game last night against a good Sacramento team. And they're in a fight tonight. But Denver's got to pick up the tempo again. Take advantage of these guys playing last night.
Nuggets have missed 9 of their 21 foul shots in a 6-point game. Elliott draws the crowd, and he draws the foul. It's on Mutombo. That is number 4 on Dikembe. Mutombo, 14 points, 14 boards on this evening. And Sean Elliott very slowly goes to the foul line. Last year, Elliott played 38 minutes a game, over 3,000 minutes, which was the most minutes ever logged by a Spur in one season. And he played all 82 games. In his 3 years in the league, he's missed but 1 ball game. Originally the 3rd pick of the draft out of Arizona. The whipping boy in his rookie season in San Antonio under Larry Brown. And now in his 4th year, you can certainly see the leadership role he is taking on this team.
Well, I think he's gotten a lot more experience. And Sean's first year, he was very timid. He didn't know what the game was about in the NBA. But these last 2 seasons, he's played very well.
Quick release by Reggie Williams, really trying to find that shot. And it is not there tonight. Williams has hit 5 of 17 attempts. And a quick release, which I don't think makes Dennison too happy. So the Nuggets digging themselves a deeper and deeper hole. And now San Antonio trying to use the clock, nursing an 8-point lead. Nuggets led most of the way. Spurs turning it around here. In the 4th quarter, Stiff, the quick hands almost stripped Sean Elliott. Stiff at 6'5", giving away 3 inches to Elliott, a tenacious defender. Nuggets have the makeup physically of being a very strong defensive team. That's where Dennison wants to score. The stuff by Williams, ripping it up is Jackson. Ellis soars. No foul, Stiff is there, no basket. And again, the Spurs have it, leading by 8. And the clock is now down to 4:15.
Chris may have given that ball to LaFonso 1 step too far out.
Another stuff by the Nuggets. And Stiff once again, and he'll get that jump ball. Stiff helping out from behind, showing you how valuable an asset this young man will become. Defensive look by the horse, Dan Issel. And he sees his club in trouble. Time ticking away. David Robinson, that's all he wanted. He wanted to pick up the foul on Mutombo, and he gets it. Mutombo, number 55, has foul number 5. And you know that the Spurs now will be very deliberate and will work it into Robinson each time down.
Yes, they're going to go back to their post-up game. They're going to be taking the ball to the hole. They're going to see what the defense gives them. Pass the ball out, try to find the open man. I think Denver's got to do that too. The outside shot's not going right now. The first half, third quarter, it kind of disappeared a little bit. So you got to take that ball to the hole.
Robinson feels now that he and the Spurs have the Nuggets right where they want them. They have a big lead, 10, and they have Mutombo in foul trouble. Dikembe will stay in there. There's under 4 minutes left in the game. Jackson searching. Ellis stopped by 2 Spurs. 6 on the shot clock. Really is Williams, and Larry Smith claims he has all ball, and he may have, but instead he gets handed the foul. The 13-year veteran out of Alcorn State, one of the most tenacious rebounders, especially on the offensive end, in NBA history. Almost became a Nugget 2 years ago when the Nuggets would refuse to sign him to a long-term deal. Instead, he shopped his wares to San Antonio.
Well, I think Reggie Williams heard me that time because he definitely took the ball to the hole. Usually good things happen.
15 now for Reggie Williams. Nuggets have only 7 points in this quarter and outscored 17-7. And we have 3.5 minutes to go. 7 points and 8.5 minutes for the Nuggets. Stalling in the last quarter. And David Robinson now coasting through the early part of the game, and now he is really taken over. 25 for David Robinson, and he is trying to bring it home for the Spurs tonight. They lost last night in their opener in Sacramento. And there is David Robinson with Williams back. David Robinson coast to coast. And will get to the foul line. Ridden by Reggie Williams all the way. And David Robinson showing you his athleticism. On the dribble. Didn't miss a step, looked like a point guard taking it from one end of the floor to the other.
Well, David, like I said, has good ball handling skills. He's fast. He's 7'1", and that's all Reggie could do was grab him. And he did a good thing because he about made that and had a 3-point play.
One more shot for Robinson. New experience for him, surrounded by a veteran lineup, which didn't do it over the course of the last 3 years. And now with Jerry Tarkanian, many moves, especially with the injuries to Terry Cummings and Willie Anderson. Could be a long season for the Spurs. Imagine if those two were in uniform. Chris Jackson. Jackson calls it a 3. The referee calls it a 2. And that's what it will be. But some signs of life from the Nuggets outside. Robinson followed by Mutombo. The cutting man is Daniels. Taken away by Ellis. Here's Reggie Williams. He flies by Ellis for the stuff. And the Nuggets trying to ignite themselves. They have certainly ignited the crowd. It's a 7-point game. 2:22. Remember last time when the Spurs came in?
That was
the third game of the season. The Nuggets with an incredible comeback in that one. They were down by 7 with less than a minute to go.
Sure.
Jackson called for the foul. Was it a foul? Third on Chris Jackson. Well, there's a 3-pointer, and it was a college 3-pointer.
Yes.
Daniels will get one more. He missed the first foul shot. There were questions, should the Spurs take a gamble on Lloyd Daniels? Can he play in the NBA? Is it worth a gamble on a guy with this background who would be only a 10th or 11th man? Well, he has shown that he is not a 10th or 11th man. When Daniels in preseason got off the bench and scored 30 against the Knicks, San Antonio knew that they may have a winner here on the basketball court, and he is right now entertaining at least the folks back home in San Antonio watching this on the tube.
I talked to my nephew, Hubert Davis, that plays for the Knicks, and he was guarding Daniels that night.
We're attempting to. Jackson, this is the three. Quick. Downtown, Chris Jackson. The Denver Nuggets are back in the ballgame. Points for the Nuggets. And Chris Jackson this time definitely in three-point range. And with 4 ticks above 2 minutes left, the Nuggets, once trailing by 10, have closed the gap to just 4. San Antonio 99 and the Nuggets 95. Reggie Williams taking it in past Ellis and make sure with 2 hands on the ball on that one. And then Jackson with some inches to spare. Nothing but net. Chris Jackson, a big opening night. 21 points for the young guard out of LSU. Looking to explode on the scene in the last 2 minutes of play. Taking a look at the high scorers in the game. David Robinson now with 26 for San Antonio to lead all scorers. Lloyd Daniels has 20 and Dale Ellis with 19. For the Nuggets, the balance goes this way. 21 for Jackson. 17 for Williams, 15 for Liberty, who's about ready to check back in. Mutombo with 14 points, and LaFonso Ellis with 10, Brian Stith with 9. Mutombo 15 rebounds, Ellis with 12, and what a 1-2 punch developing on the boards for Denver.
Well, that's just like last year with Cadillac Anderson and Mutombo. They were right up there in the top 5 in rebounding.
All right, the Nuggets come out now for the final 2:04 with Mutombo in the middle. Jackson, Williams, Ellis, and Liberty. Looking for Liberty to continue with the spark, and Liberty to guard Sean Elliott. Full court pressure. Elliott in trouble. Still in trouble. And Denver will get the ball. A 10-second violation. And visions of last year, the Nuggets coming back against the Spurs. Only the coaches have changed. And most of the players. It was Reggie Williams who starred down the stretch for Denver last year at this time. Chris Jackson picked up by Lloyd Daniels. Jackson searching. Liberty cuts inside. Got it. It's a 2-point game. 9 straight points for the Nuggets. And the Shark has the towel in hand.
That was good execution that time, Al.
Deafening at McNichols Arena. The fans are standing. Ellis hounded by Reggie Williams. Well, for the horse, his young Colts whipping and driving down the stretch. 1.5 to go. It is a new ball game. Robinson and Mutombo. Dikembe with the 5 fouls. Robinson takes it in, gets the step, and is fouled. LaFonso Ellis coming over and has his 5th personal foul. And all of a sudden, Walt, this has been transformed into a playoff game. The first game of the season. The crowd trying to help out. It's still a 2-point game. Dan Issel in his first coaching assignment of the regular season. Spurs get it back. Sean Elliott will bring it back. Ellis splits through. It's against Denver, and it is all for Mutombo. I was saying Dan Issel in the first game getting into a coaching chess match down to the wire. So Dikembe Mutombo trying to pick out the driving Dale Ellis is called for his 6th personal foul, and Mutombo has fouled out. fouls out with 14 points and 15 rebounds, and here's it from the crowd.
Well, Kimbe didn't get set that time. If he could have moved his feet a little faster and got position, I think he would have gotten that call. But Dale Ellis took the ball to the hole so hard.
Ellis has missed 2 of 4 from the line tonight. Oh, the crowd is into this one. LaFonso Ellis will move into the middle. It's Jackson, Williams, Ellis, Smith, and Liberty. Bedlam here at McNichols. Nothing but net. The veteran ices the crowd. A 3-point lead for San Antonio. Stiff. And he is fouled. The Nuggets will take that, stop the clock, and try to get a couple of points. Robinson has foul number 4. Brian Stith, an excellent foul shooter, and he releases that one quickly. 82% foul shooter in college. And strategy on the sideline. Dan Issel talking to Ellis about defensive assignments.
Well, I think they're going to try to trap and try to get a steal, or just disrupt this offense, because they're coming down milking the clock, and they got to get an up-tempo here, get a turnover.
2-point lead for the Spurs. Othick loses to Ellis, who tries to save, but he was on the sideline. Nuggets scrambling all over. And look who's on the floor in the crunch time. The 2 first-round draft picks, LaFonso Ellis and Brian Smith. Mutombo's fouled out. He's on the bench. Robinson against Ellis, who has the 5 fouls. 6 on the shot clock. Ellis with a defense. Ellis with some friends. 2 seconds to shoot. And the Nuggets have the ball and a chance to tie it up. 42 seconds to go. The fans bouncing out of their seats. Jackson comes up short, but a save. Stiff for the tie. Sean Elliott comes out of the pack with a basketball and calls a timeout. The Nuggets having their opportunity. Now blood from the mouth of Chris Jackson on that last shot was picked up and got a shot to the lips. A lot of blood in tonight's game. Reggie Williams was cut. Vinny Del Negro of the Spurs had his nose broken in the first quarter. Robinson way out. Spurs spreading out, away from the basket, looking for Robinson. Ellis steps in front for the steal. Here are the Nuggets flipping it up. Williams. Off the mark. Stith the rebound. Blocked by Robinson and a foul. Look at Brian Stith at 6'5", living up to the billing as one dependable ball player. Dan Issel during preseason said he can't believe how Brian Stith rebounds.
Well, all the eyes were on the shot. Nobody boxed out Brian Stith here, and he outjumped Sean Elliott.
2 shots for Stith. He is 4 of 6 from the line. A deep breath by the horse. 9 seconds to go. Does this tell you a little bit about the fortitude of the newest Nugget?
Well, Dan has wanted this from these guys, and they've given it to him. They had to take it up to a different level tonight, and I think they have.
Nice shot for the Spurs. They have a chance to win it. They throw it away. The Nuggets will get the last shot. 4 seconds to go. The Nuggets have it in their hands. And right now, this is a college atmosphere.
It's great. It's great. This is the best time of basketball when you have the fans yelling for you. The adrenaline's flowing. You know, you play up a couple inches above the ground. Anything can happen.
And now they put 6 seconds on the clock. So the Nuggets get a break. Nuggets were down by 10 points for the Nuggets. Lloyd Daniels will play the inbound of Marcus Liberty. He has to watch out, not giving the Spurs clear path to the hoop. In the hands of Ellis. He has some room. Ellis goes in. There is Stiff banging. And a jump ball is called with 1 second left, and that'll do it. Oh, the Nuggets had an opportunity. All of a sudden, LaFonso Ellis saw the lane open.
Yes, I couldn't see what happened there. I know it was open. He took off for it, and he kind of lost the dribble there.
Brian Stiff against Sean Elliott. Elliott will just try to tap it away. Stiff may try to tap it all the way. Well, that'll do it. And you know what? I think Dan Issel will take it all away from extinction tonight. And the Spurs now, their goal, with Robinson still in there, is to get Ellis out of the game early.
Oh, yes.
Or out of the overtime.
Well, that's what they had success right there at the end, giving the ball to David Robinson. And he came alive there right there also, Al.
Spurs went 3 minutes, the last 3 minutes, without a basket. Elliott outside and then inside on Stiff. Larry Smith, as he has proven so many times before with that offensive rebound. Oh, upstairs goes Brian Stiff. Here the Nuggets with a chance to take the lead, to strike first in OT. Stiff, jumper, hit. Brian Stiff taking over. 2 key foul shots to tie the game with 9 seconds left, and a myriad of rebounds in clutch situations. Denver in front by 2, their first lead in a while. Elliott, this is for 3. Larry Smith, another offensive rebound. Dale Ellis strikes from downtown. Nuggets are finding out you can't give Dale Ellis any room or any time.
He's a pure shooter, and three-point range is a long shot, but usually Reggie Williams has had a hand in his face and made it difficult, but that time he wasn't close enough to him.
Spurs by 1. Dale Ellis now with 23. Jackson protected by Robinson. A minute gone by in the overtime. Daniels the alley-oop, and Daniels the tip. Back the other way. Nuggets on the run. Williams scrapping for the ball is Marcus Liberty, and over the back, Sean Elliott with a personal foul. You notice the Nuggets are really crashing the boards, Walt, especially without Mutombo. The Nuggets kind of hang around in packs.
Yeah, that's true. Brian Stitch, LaFonso Ellis, Reggie Williams have been great on the boards tonight. Got second and third shots, and that's what it takes to win in this league.
Reggie Williams pulls the trigger. Way off the mark. He is struggling tonight, 6 of 21 from the field. Remember, San Antonio, this is their second game in 2 nights. Last night in Sacramento. Whether that may wear them down eventually. Oh, a couple of steps by Ellis. He gets away with it. No traveling call. Instead, 2 points for the Spurs. And a 3-point lead. Brian Stiff fires. And the Nuggets again have gone cold. And the Spurs again have taken control. 2:50 and counting. 105-102 San Antonio. Blindsiding is Brian Stiff. Nuggets firing out. Stiff slides in, and he'll get back to the foul line. Brian Stiff, you know, the comparisons have been made that he's a Sidney Moncrief kind of player, or here in Denver, you may think of him as a Fat Lever kind of player. Does everything well.
Well, it looks like Fat Lever, T.R. Dunn, and a little bit of Sidney Moncrief. But he definitely stays on the board, just like all 3 of those guys do, and he's very deceptive. He jumps very well.
He is around the action. 7 of 9 from the foul line. 15 now for Brian Stiff, and a very calm and cool Dan Issel here in overtime. And now Stiff in the groove. He missed a couple of foul shots earlier, but he's now come back with 5 in a row. Robinson all alone, forget it. 28 points for David Robinson. And again, the Spurs by 3. 2:25 left. This is nothing for the Nuggets. They trailed by 10 with 2:25 left in the 4th quarter. Stiff. Ellis. Way off the mark. The Nuggets shot 55% in the first half. They're now down to 42% for the game. Ellis and Stiff stand up to Sean Elliott. And it's Ellis who takes the brunt of the shot. Tarkanian looking at two of the Nuggets rookies excelling tonight. But his Spurs still lead by 3. Nice fake by Stiff. He's got it, and he is fouled. Brian Stiff emerging as a hero tonight.
Oh, he's got Larry Smith on him, and he did the right thing, putting it down one time, taking the ball hard to the hole. And David Robinson, he knew he was going to be there, but he still finished it.
Smith leaves the Nuggets 1 point shy. He now has 18. Jackson with 21 to lead Denver, and the Spurs need a breather. They are huffing and puffing, which could be a great sign for the Nuggets, but the San Antonio Spurs could be wilting down the stretch. David Robinson called that time.
Yes, David Robinson was very tired. Larry Smith, Sean Elliott was limping a little bit. And I thought that Larry Smith got away with a walk on Robinson's dunk.
But San Antonio with the ball and with the lead. 107-106 Spurs. The crowd has been alive, helping to pump up the Nuggets. 3 on the shot clock. Robinson, he got it off late. And Ellis gets it back. It should have been a 24-second violation, but instead it's a travel. The referees, with the crowd just going wild, did not catch the 24-second clock. All right, the Nuggets with 1:20 to go. A basket puts them back in front. 15 seconds to shoot. Liberty taking it on Larry Smith. No foul. Reggie Williams inside. Got it. Denver by 1. Reggie Williams has been searching all night from the outside. He gets it from the inside. 1 minute on the nose. Left in overtime. Denver 108. San Antonio 107. Robinson, no. Robinson, no. Robinson, yes. Staying with it is David Robinson. He has 30. And the Spurs by 1. Jackson, the reverse. Liberty. He's fouled, and he's got it.
Chris Jackson taking the ball here to the hole, had a very acrobatic shot. I thought this ball was in, but Marcus Liberty's right there on the board and a foul.
And he is fouled by David Robinson. That is number 5 on Robinson. Remember, the Nuggets are playing this entire overtime without Dikembe Mutombo. Teamwork, says Dan Issel, and play hard. Dan Issel could receive nothing more from his team tonight.
Oh, yes. These guys have done everything that Dan has asked of them tonight.
Sidney Green is now checking in. Dan Issel telling LaFonso Ellis to pass the word, to get on the boards. Nuggets have been doing it tonight. 56 rebounds to 51 of San Antonio. Liberty hands the big foul shot. He has 20 points. And the Nuggets by 2. Elliott sees a seam. And there are the Nuggets on the board. Oh, but they lose the ball. 29 seconds to go. Looking for Daniels inside on Jackson. And he's got it. No help for Chris Jackson. Tie ball game. 22 for Lloyd Daniels. At 6'7" has Jackson by 7 inches. Now Jackson takes it the other way. No. And San Antonio has it with 8 seconds left. Tie ball game. Elliott looking around. Larry Smith. It's into the hands of Ellis. And short. And we will be going to double overtime. And the Denver Nuggets there get a break. San Antonio completely disheveled. Sean Elliott holds points in the first overtime. And we go to another 5 minutes. And the Spurs start this overtime period without Robinson, who is fouled out. And last foul, number 6 on Robinson. And Mutombo also had fouled out at the end of regulation. And the Spurs feeling the heat. Game last night, traveling here. And they may be worn down by this pesky, fresh, young Nuggets team. Daniels and Elliott with Green, Smith, and Ellis to the Spurs. Here's Ellis. And Daniels gets him with ball wide open. This time, Ellis sinks it. 27 for Dale Ellis, and the Spurs strike first in the second overtime. The Nuggets with Jackson and Williams, along with Stith, Liberty, and LaFonso Ellis. Small lineup for Denver. Chris Jackson got it.
That was great ball movement that time. And they were patient, and they got it to a great open shooter.
Nice time for Jackson to take over. 113, 4:20 left. Inside Daniels, strip, but the Nuggets can't get the ball back. Ellis tries to rip the ball, and the arms out of the socket of Larry Smith. This game has been tied on 17 occasions. The Nuggets providing enough highlights in this game to last them the season. And now the referees have called a time. And I don't know why that should be a referee timeout, as Dale Ellis goes to the bench to have some work done. I think they may have drawn blood, and new edict in the NBA, if blood is drawn, that a time has been called by the referees and it is attended to. But now the San Antonio Spurs will call a time, and Dan Issel is letting the official crew have it, but Dan, as you know, Dan, always could be that punchline for one here this season. The San Antonio Spurs have possession. They have the full 24 seconds on the clock, or rather the jump ball at the San Antonio foul line. 4:14 left in OT. Ellis bounces around. San Antonio getting the bounces here of late. Elliott backing in on Reggie Williams. Wheels nicely. 3 Nuggets are on the ball, and Larry Smith keeps it alive. He's done that 3 or 4 times on the offensive end. 3:55 left. Williams wrapping up Sean Elliott, and Williams grabbing him. 4th personal foul on Reggie Williams. That's the first team foul on the Nuggets. So the Spurs will have the ball out. Al Albert and Walt Davis, we're all getting our money's worth tonight. Not only was David Thompson's jersey retired, but here we are into the second overtime. The Nuggets and the Spurs. Roy Daniels, he may have traveled. Brian Stith pulling it off again. Nuggets fast break. Jackson in the crowd. Blocked by Smith. Fouled by Smith. The stutter step by Chris Jackson. And the play was made by Brian Stith. How many times is he going to do it?
Well, he's just very aggressive, and he's getting his hands in there. Dale Ellis doesn't like a lot of pressure like that. He wants room to shoot his little jump shot, and Brian is just all over him. Dan just told him he's just playing his tail off.
You know, and this is the way he plays in practice. Guys for loose balls, fights through picks. And in the meantime, Chris Jackson hits the first foul, shot the Nuggets by 1. In his 2 years with Denver, he's hit 86 and 89 from the foul line. Near automatic. Chris Jackson, 25 points. Denver by 2. There's Stith, and he steals it again! Brian Stith stole the ball for the second straight time. Liberty takes it inside, rushes it. And San Antonio trailing by 2 with 3:12 left.
That wasn't a very good shot that time by Marcus. He should have brought the ball out, taken some time off the clock, and worked for a better shot.
Sean Elliott now thinking about it against Stith. Stith blocks it. Brian Stith out of this world. The tough defense by Stith, giving Elliott little room to maneuver, and then stuffs him. 5 seconds to shoot for the Spurs. And it's Stith now covering Ellis. Larry Smith does it again. Uncanny. Daniels working on Jackson. Off balance. Uncanny. 24 for Lloyd Daniels. And this is the kind of game he likes. This one is back in the schoolyard.
Wide open.
Brian Stith, can he do it on that end? Yes! Brian Stith looking like a lottery pick tonight. And I think in one game, Brian Stith has won over the hearts of the Denver crowd, and they are giving it on all for Brian Stith right now. 117 to 115. Denver by 2. 2:20 left. Daniels the stutter step on Jackson, and Daniels taking it home one more time. 26 points for Daniels. He ties the game for the 19th time. Now it's Denver's turn. Jackson against Daniels, twisting and turning. Unbelievable. Chris Jackson says, in your face, Lloyd Daniels.
Chris Jackson said, you're going to take me on the other end. You got the height advantage on me, but I'm going to take you on the other end. I got the quickness.
27 points for Jackson. And the whistle. .150 left. There's Jackson, who even had almost one move too many for himself. Nuggets with 14 fouls, the Spurs with 1. And again, the isolation. Daniels against Jackson. They clear out. Jackson knocks it away, but in the hands of Green. Oh, my! Sidney Green, not an offensive threat. 119-119. What's keeping the Spurs in there is they are getting the loose ball.
That's true. Our second shots has been keeping them in too.
10 on the shot clock. Dale Ellis draws the personal foul. And that is his 5th personal foul. This may turn out to whoever has 5 players left in the end. Mutombo fouled out late in the 4th quarter. Robinson went in the first overtime. 1:19 to go. 119 to score. Second overtime at McNichols Arena. Stith and Larry Smith. 10 on the shot clock. LaFonso Ellis has been surviving with 5 personal fouls. Jackson for 3. Downtown. In desperation. Chris Jackson has 30 on opening night. A timeout by San Antonio. And time for one more eruption from the Denver. Jackson all over Daniels. 7 seconds to shoot. Williams and Elliott tumbling. And Elliott wills that one in. 15 points for Sean Elliott. Nuggets hanging on by 1. Hanging on to the ball. 36 seconds left in the second overtime. Oh, the 7-second overtime in Nuggets history. They've been to triple overtime once. Down to 8 seconds. Williams one-on-one on Elliott. Larry Smith, the big rebound. And now the Spurs with a chance to take the lead. 15 seconds to go. Will they wait for that last shot? Stith gets in the way of Ellis. It's off of Ellis. Brian Stith makes it happen one more time.
Great play. Great defensive play by Brian.
The Nuggets, to settle things down, have called for a timeout. Daniels working on Jackson. Liberty helps out. And there is Stith covering. San Antonio thought would be the open man, Dale Ellis.
Well, they had 2 guys back there helping them. Also, LaFonso Ellis was there to help out also.
I don't think if you ask Brian Stith before tonight's game to script a better game for him in his pro opener, you just couldn't do it.
Well, the kid, what I like about him, he stays within his game. He's not pressing anything. He's tough on defense, and he's going to the offensive board. He's just taking what the defense gives him. He's not forcing. He's a great player.
Consistency is a great word to describe Brian Stith, and that's what Brian Stith said. He says, I'm not a flashy player, but I'm the player who goes night in, night out, and gets the job done. I think he's done a little more than getting the job done. There's no question tonight you are seeing the emergence of the young Denver Nuggets, especially in the rookies, in Brian Stith and LaFonso Ellis. Ellis showing tremendous patience, playing with the 5 personal fouls, playing good D, very active around the board, surviving even though he's in foul trouble late in the 4th quarter. And Ellis with 14 rebounds tonight, doing it in the absence of Dikembe Mutombo, fouled out in the closing minutes of the 4th period. Remember, this Denver Nugget team trailed 99-88 with a minute and a half to go in regulation. Now they are in the driver's seat. They know they're going to get fouled. San Antonio with 4 personal team fouls.
Well, I think that Dan set up a play in the huddle. They want to make sure that they get the ball into one of the shooters' hand. Brian's a great free throw shooter, Reggie and Chris.
They get in the hands of Reggie Williams, and that's an 80% shooter. It's been a long time since Jerry Tarkanian has lost 2 straight games as a coach.
That's true. That's true.
And he's facing that right now. 8 seconds to go. Of course, this gives San Antonio the chance to get the ball back. Even if Williams sinks the 2, they have a 3-point opportunity with one of the most dangerous 3-point shooters in the history of the game. Now they won't need the 3-pointer. Reggie 5 of 7 from the foul line. The Nuggets 22 of 33 from the foul line, giving away 11 points from there. You see, this has been blood, sweat, and tears tonight. 2-point lead for the Nuggets, 20-point starting spot. Brian Stith. Does Brian Stith insert himself in the starting lineup, or does Brian Stith become that valuable weapon off the bench?
Well, I think that's going to be Dan Issel's call. He has a lot of things he can play with. But like you said, maybe Mark Macon's ankle may heal overnight.
8.3 seconds left in the second overtime. Will the horse bring the first one home down the stretch? Eyes are on number 3, Dale Ellis. He's hit a couple of 3-pointers tonight. He has 27 points. Will the Spurs look to tie it up or look to try to win it? As tired as they are, with all the injuries and Robinson out, I think they may even go for the 3 here. Go for it all. Scott Hastings is in. Here's Elliott. He's going to go for the 2. Who's it off? Oh, I think a foul is called. Yes, a foul is called on Reggie Williams. And it will put Sean Elliott on the line with a chance to tie it. 5th foul on Williams. And Elliott, who is an 86% foul shooter, who has hit all 7 of his foul shots tonight, and now goes on the line with 5.5. And an offensive change, Chris Jackson is in. And the crowd trying to help out. They're all standing behind the backboard. Pressure on Elliott. Iced on the first one. The Nuggets cling to the 2-point lead.
That's it. I don't know what he's going to try to miss it or make this, or we'll see.
He tries to miss it intentionally. Chris Jackson has it, but a violation is called on Sean Elliott. He went over the line
before the ball hit the backboard. Yeah.
So the Nuggets now with a 2-point lead, 5.5. They'll try to get it in the hands of Chris Jackson. Nuggets call a timeout. They had the right ball guy inbounding. Scott Hastings, who's seen it all, never flinched, looking for somebody to get open. It didn't happen, and a timeout was called. Nuggets have 1 timeout left. San Antonio has none, and he gets wrapped up. So now Chris Jackson looking to put it away at the foul line, but not much time off the clock. Dan Issel would have liked to see a couple of more seconds. 4.6 to go. Chris Jackson, legendary from the foul line in college, especially in practice. He put 287 straight from the line, and one occasion hit his first 2 foul shots tonight. Nuggets now by 3. This one right here will give the Nuggets that breathing room. Jackson looks for 32. 125 to 121. They're dancing in their seats. Ellis back to Elliott. Time ticking away. Just don't foul him. And that is it. The Denver Nuggets have come from behind in dramatic fashion in double overtime, celebrating as if they have just won the playoffs. They have delivered the horse down the stretch with his first pro victory. Look at this. Dan Issel applauding the sold-out crowd. And a new era is ushered in Denver Nugget basketball.
Great.
The final score in double overtime. The Denver Nuggets 120.